Welcome to a brand new program called The Body and the Mind.
Shanti, Shanti, Shanti.
As far as this program is concerned, we are going to eyeshadow yoga. This is a program not only for mariners, but it's also for those people who love their life and career. We are honored to have with us Mr. Sanjeev Krishnan, who is also the director of Oriental Yoga Sanctuary, and he's the patron and the founder of Rhythm of Life. We're going to ask him about yoga and all sorts of our doubts in concern with yoga, because in our lives we run around for money, business and whatnot, and we never ever care for our body. We are busy with so many other things. Early in the morning you work out, especially for us, we live in Dubai. The traffic, the business, you eat at the wrong time, you eat at the right time sometimes, you go back, no time for your family, it's a mess. Of course it's high time we think about our life and care for our life, and we should really love our life and career. Mr. Sanjeev Krishnan, welcome to the show.
Yeah, thank you, Srijit. Yeah.
During our casual discussion, the moment I walked into your office here, people, there's a confusion in the industry or around the world. What is yoga? There are several definitions, and the mythological or the way they describe things to people, especially for the marine industry, our industry, where our channel is focused. It's ship owners, ship builders, converters, marine oil and gas. They're all busy people, and with the amount of stress they have, and especially in Europe or Australia or India, okay, fine, but the other parts, they'd like to know, what is yoga?
Yeah, it's a very good question. And yoga is actually today a universal name. Mm-hmm. And many perceive it in different perspective, Yoga, basically, if you ask me, I would like to say, yoga is a wonderful knowledge that helps every human being in this world to enjoy every moment of their life. Mm-hmm. In other words, I would like to say, yoga is a manual of a human personality. We all go to school as a child. We send our child also now to schools. We teach them all the knowledge that they need to gain in life, whether it is to develop a business, or a job, or an engineer, or a doctor.
General knowledge.
They learn everything about it. But you see, today there are millions of people with millions of rupees.
Yes.
But they can't sleep properly, can't eat properly, no values, no relationships. And finally, they land up their life as a wreck.
They are like a machine.
What is happening is, the real essence of knowledge has not been given to a child. Mm-hmm. In the process of giving the child the education, or the job, or anything for that matter, we only help them to gain financial health. Uh-huh. But financial health is not everything.
Okay.
First of all, we need to know how to maintain our physical and mental health. Okay. Physical and mental health is not taught anywhere. Though we have some moral science and some activity as yoga they term in schools, just as another exercise like a cricket or a football or any other game, they treat yoga as only as an activity. Uh-huh. The real in-depth meaning of yoga is to help a person understand how to maintain his physical and mental health. When a person is able to maintain his physical and mental health, then he can use his financial health in a much better way. But just financial health without a physical and mental health does not serve the purpose.
Okay.
So the person does not enjoy his life. So yoga basically is a knowledge that we need to imbibe to every human being in this world to learn how to take care of the day-to-day life. In other words, how to manage their lives so that they can enjoy every moment of their life. This is what is the real in-depth essence of yoga. Coming to the aspect, it would be good for a person to understand a human personality. Because even if you want to operate your camera or a mobile, you need to know how to use it properly.
The correct way.
Correct way. For example, today we buy a mobile and there's always an instructor's manual attached to it. In all languages, if you see, they send. But how many of us really go through it?
None of us.
We know to operate the normal, to call a person, or just for a message, or a camera, or little these things. Nowadays, yes, internet and all those things you use. But in spite of that, there are plenty of other applications.
Yeah.
Likewise, human being has plenty of potential. It has immense potential, but we hardly know the capacity.
Right.
And yoga is one knowledge that helps a person to understand every aspect of his personality, wherein he can be a master of his life. Today we are mostly slaves, not masters.
Right.
We are a slave to some habit or this or that, or something to drink or smoke, or anything for that matter. It can be chocolates, it can be anything. So what is happening is you are basically just getting conditioned to so many things, because we ultimately do not know what is the real aspects of the personality. So to give a little in-depth knowledge about yoga, I would like to always say, we need to understand the 5 dimensions of a human personality.
Dimensions of the human personality.
Yeah. We see it as only one entity. A person is there, he is laughing, he is eating, he is sleeping, he is drinking.
That's it.
That's it. But what is the intricate aspect that makes him do all these activities is what we need to understand.
Okay.
For that, in yoga we have this called the 5 dimensions. We call it as the Panchakoshas.
Panchakoshas.
Yeah. The first aspect of a human personality is the body sheath, or food sheath we call it.
Okay.
See, today a body for a human being, if you see, if it is not having the breath,
yeah. Okay.
when the breathing is not there, how long can you keep the body?
If you are finished.
In 1 day, 2 days, you have to dispose it. But we see the physical body, we don't see the other aspects of it. Today we see only a body, and total focus today in this world is only for the body.
Right.
Beauty, health, facilities, all these things is aimed for the body, mainly. Body with the breath is life.
Right.
Body with the breath is life. But body with the breath alone is a living vegetable. Because there is no mind attached to it. There are so many people living in the world, but they can't move, they are unconscious, there are so many problems. The health-wise, they can't do anything. Paralysis. So, body is one, we call it as the food sheath. The air sheath is the pranayama, the breath awareness, or air sheath we call it. Third is the mind.
The mind.
What is this mind? Mind is basically a sense of perception. For example, a small child, mind always operates with 2 things. One is it has always desires. It's a sense of perception. So its thrust to do things is by desire.
Curious.
Yeah, it wants to achieve things. Second is reflection and recollection is other aspects of the characteristics of the mind. So we are going to the intricate aspects of the mind to understand how we can use it. So for a child, for example, the child wants to touch a flame. It looks very beautiful, bright. It wants to touch the flame. It goes and touches the flame. It has understood it has become dangerous. It has already hurt. Next time it will not touch the flame. Now the sense of perception of the child, according to its mind, it's got a hurt feeling. So he doesn't want to touch it again.
Right.
Now as the child progresses or grows, you would have noticed the child now starts using the flame for his benefit.
Right.
So along with the sense of perception, there is an evolution happening in the human mind that's called the understanding sheath or intellectual blend of mind. We call it as the Vijnanamaya Kosha.
Okay.
Today we are all a patra. Patra means an entity wherein we have gained so much of knowledge according to our sense of perceptions. As a child, my parentage has given me so much of knowledge. My schooling has given me so much of knowledge. My teachers have given me so much of knowledge. My sufferings or pain or happiness that I have undergone has given me so much of knowledge. And today, all of us have a beautiful software already set in. And today I look to the world according to my understanding.
Okay.
This is where we have all the problems today. One person says what I say is right, you say it is wrong. There we have a clash.
Friction.
And when I can't accept a person or a situation or a circumstances, automatically your sense of perception starts showing in emotions. It gets disturbed. So whenever you are not able to accept a situation or a person, these agitations, we call it as different forms of emotions. It starts showing in anger, hatred, happiness, sorrow, frustration. Immediately it shows in your breath as breathing difficulty, fast breath, and sometimes you can have palpitations and your body starts vibrating. So basically your understanding is what triggers the emotions, what triggers your mind, and what triggers or manifests in the body as uneasiness.
You feel sick and...
Yeah. Today basically if you see, the world is suffering not because of famine or war or anything. Basically we're all suffering because of psychosomatic diseases. That's why if you really see, it's a very pathetic state. We don't take care of our health. And another important aspect is we do not know the higher aspects of a personality. Even in the medical science is very essential today because we are all not taking care of our health, so we land up always in crisis. Whenever you land up in crisis, there should be a section of medical science that can treat you for emergencies. So this is why hospitals are increasing more and more, because it is a crisis management basically.
People go there for sudden relief.
Certain relief. But it's very sorry to see that for diabetic, for example, you start with small doses of insulin tablets. Finally, you land up with insulin.
Permanently.
If you start with blood pressure, for example, you start with slow tablets, and again you continue the tablets. If you see for arthritis or depressions, there is no actually a medicine to cure it. They can only maintain,
Stabilize it.
stabilize it. They can kill your pain. But to get out of it, it's very difficult. Even the medical science, even all the colleges, I don't think they give in-depth knowledge about breath, or how the mind operates, or how the understanding has an impact. That's why we say uneasiness of the mind. Whenever I'm not easy at a given situation or a circumstance or a person, immediately I show it as disturbances.
Okay.
And these disturbances already trigger in the body as uneasiness of the body. We call it, I am not in ease, I am in dis-ease. Diseases are the
Disease. Okay.
When you're not in ease, disease is manifest. So this is what is basically happening.
Okay.
And another aspect of a human personality, if you see, all human beings, our body structures may be different.
Correct.
Height, weight, color, everything may be different. Our breathing patterns may be different. Our sense of perceptions on certain things may be different. Our understanding on a subject may be different. But we have all one common goal in life. That's why you and I are here today. What? Because the common goal that we are all looking for in this world is what? Peace and happiness.
Of course, of course.
Today you have so many people coming down to Dubai. You can see almost 35,000, 40,000 people come every day. But ultimate aim is what? Either they come for job, or for seeing their parents, or seeing their children, or business, whatever it is. But what is the ultimate aim? Aim is peace and happiness at the end of the day. So, happiness and peace is what? That is what is called godliness. Today we pray to God to give us all the help, support, love, compassion, everything. And we pray for the peace and happiness. But God in fact has given His divine beautiful qualities like a chip in all of us. That's where whenever you say a lie or you say an untruth, I am the first person to know it's an untruth.
Okay.
Whenever I am going to hurt a person, who knows I am going to hurt? It's me again. So whenever I am responsible for my health, let us say I am drinking all the time, or I smoke, or I get into any other activity, who is the person who knows it's not right? It's me again. And whenever you continue it, you are actually creating more weakness and a guilt feeling within us. Each one of us, we create a guilt feeling. This guilt feeling transcends into your understanding, into your emotions, into your breath, and finally into the body as diseases. Whereas your true nature is what? Your true nature is love, compassion, responsibility. And this gives you power, strength, fearlessness, courage, humility, perseverance, everything. When yoga is basically an integration of the entire dimensions of a human personality, so thereby he is a master to manage himself in day-to-day life.
Both health-wise and mind-wise.
Everything, it covers everything. So understanding this, for example, food sheets, let us say the body. How can we take care of our body? By the right concepts of food. We are all operating with energies, you know. We call it in Hatha Yoga is the traditional authentic yoga from which every other yoga has come. All has come only from the basic Hatha Yoga. Hatha Yoga is a very ancient knowledge. Hatha means Ha and Tha. Ha is, we call it as the left nostril is Ha,
the left
and
one.
Tha is the right, is the Tha. Ha is the pranic energy, and this is the mental energy.
The left one?
Left is pranic,
Okay.
this is right is the mental energy.
Oh.
We call it in Hatha means Ha is the moon and Tha is the sun. In modern science you can say this is matter, this is energy. We call it as Yin and Yang in Chinese. We call it in ancient knowledge, we call it as Prakriti and Shiva. In yoga it is life and thoughts, the consciousness.
But let me just interfere in between. Where did it derive from? Which country did it come from? Or how is this all about? Did it erupt from India or?
Actually, if you see, thousands of years back, we have had a wonderful culture. And this knowledge has been there for thousands of years back.
Earlier itself.
In India it was there. India, if you see, was a country that was abundant with every other things, like your agriculture was abundant. And we always had time. That's what I feel. Always had time to look into other higher aspects of human personality.
Family as well.
Everything, if you see, for example, today, when you have a child, for example, you always think about good things for your family, for your children. So whenever you have got some good ideas that comes into you, will you not teach it to your child?
Of course.
Will you not teach it to your student? Same way, so many persons who have contributed the different experiences of their day-to-day life, which has been finally formulated by great scholars and saints. And that is how this knowledge has come. There is not a particular author for it.
Oh, it's just...
It has come from various people at different times, Now, for example, today also, you also can create so many things. That's what we say, it's called Shrutis, but we'll be deviating from the topic if you are going into this,
No.
So, we can take it as a subject if you want. It's a very beautiful subject because the entire knowledge is existent in the world as vibrations, basically. Even today, a scientist is looking for something that he wants to discover. What does he do? At every given point of time, he works on it, he thinks on it, he sleeps on it, he eats on it. He's always his mind on a particular thing. Your brain is having 1000 kilovolt of current. How much?
1000 kilovolt.
You can imagine the power of the brain. Almost 2 to 13 billion neurons. Each neuron is equivalent to 1 Pentium chip of a computer. So your brain is highly powerful. Now let us say we have 3 meters in diameter, we call it as the bioplastic body. Today it's very common because pranic and reiki and all these things, healing techniques are there. This bioplastic body is the aura that is there in every human being. If you see, for example, you go to a function, let us say, the seats are all empty. What do we initially do? We go and see which is the best seat and sit in the middle actually, somewhere. Because we automatically, unknowingly, we have a space. Sometimes you're walking on the road and you don't look back, but you feel someone is coming at the back.
Behind you.
Because your bioplastic body touches, it's 3 meters in diameter. So naturally you get the feeling. Many a time you may be telling, I feel feverish. Fever has not entered the physical body, but you have the feeling coming in. Likewise, we have a bioplasmic body. What I'm telling is, whenever a scientist or any person for that matter, they think on a particular subject, automatically they are sending out different types of vibrations in the atmosphere. Today what I am talking to you, what we are discussing is all recorded in the world of nature. Isn't it? Likewise, whatever we say is already recorded. Whatever has been said is already existent. Now, similar type of thought vibrations, whatever you has there in this world of vibrations, and whenever you are looking for such thoughts, you attune to those vibrations similar to what you are thinking. And at a certain point of time, it transcends through your sense organs. You get it through your mouth. Poetry comes like that. It not comes all the time. So, like different, at higher level of consciousness, people have been thinking about certain things. And this is transcended and they are written in various verses form. We call it as the Shrutis. It's a beautiful knowledge to understand. We can take it as a subject when we discuss further. But coming to yoga again, so this 5 dimensions of a human personality is what is basically yoga is all about. And it's an integration of this entire essence. Coming to how yoga can help day-to-day life in management, if you see, today I would like to ask you a question, Srijata.
Go ahead, please.
What do you think is freedom? Generally, what do we all think is freedom? Today all are saying we want to have freedom. What is this freedom?
Could be anything. Freedom to talk, freedom to...
freedom to express everything. Even freedom to do things.
Yes.
Sometimes we hear children telling parents, come on, don't disturb me, let me have my freedom.
When we were talking about freedom, I had an experience. I was just taking my daughter for the Dubai shopping festival. And I said, you'll get lost in the crowd, so let me hold your hand. So she says, no, don't catch my hand, I want to go free. you know.
Yeah,
So
that's what it is. Everyone want to have that freedom, you know. See, coming to freedom, if you think that is freedom, that's where we have misunderstood certain concepts. The real essence of freedom is, for example, out of freedom, I want to smoke.
it's your will.
Can you say, you should not smoke?
No, no, no.
If I want to drink, I can drink, it's my freedom. Or if I want to eat a chocolate, it's my
It's
freedom.
your freedom.
Out of sheer love, I want to start loving a person. I get into love. That's also, it's my freedom. Now, after a month, after 2 months, let us say, you are smoking every day. Can you stop your smoking immediately?
Very difficult.
Very difficult. Can you stop your drinking immediately? Very, very difficult. Not that easy. But yes, there are people who can. Exceptions are always there.
Yeah.
But generally, people lose their freedom. They think they started with freedom. They lost their freedom. And freedom lost to what? A small cigarette. Freedom lost to a drink or a chocolate. Or you can't even sleep when your dear one has not called. You're stuck. So in fact, we think it is freedom. We have lost the freedom. In fact, we have lost our freedom. Then what is this freedom? Freedom is basically, for example, you have a daughter or a son, for example. The son studies beautifully, understands what you say, and manages his studies in school, at home, and even in the house, he takes and keeps everything beautifully. Now, should you manage him in any way? He's already doing things beautifully.
Then you don't have to go and keep.
Come on, you do this, you do that. You don't have to say. Now let us say he does not do it. He does not study. Exam is coming and he's not yet finished his revision. You have to sit on his head. Now, when you sit on his head or when you try to manage him, will he like it?
No.
No. No one likes to be managed by others. But if the child does not want to be managed, what the child should do, learn to manage
Himself.
herself or himself. When the child manages, what does the child get? Freedom. The child gets the freedom. Today if you see, driving on the road, if I manage myself beautifully on the road, should the police manage me?
No, no, no.
Not required. Department may not manage me. If a husband manages himself in his life,
Okay.
wife need not manage him. Where are you going? What is this? Whose call is that? She does not check that. If you are managing yourself beautifully, she will not manage you. And what do you get? You get your freedom. Vice versa, wife manages herself beautifully, then should
You interfere.
you need not interfere. And there is a sense of understanding. That's what develop. This is management. An employer or employee. An employer manages himself beautifully, does beautifully things accordingly what he has to do. Employees need not try to manage him.
Correct.
Vice versa. So, whenever we learn to understand the essence of management, what do you get? Freedom. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti.